Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. It's about 55 degrees here in Lakewood, Ohio. Sorry, the reason I wasn't talking for the first minute of the stream is I was testing the connection beforehand, but right when I started the stream, the upload signal seemed very weak, so I was just walking away from that area. Hopefully it gets better as I continue walking down Detroit Avenue, which is what I'm doing now. But where I started the stream, if you were able to see the picture, was right on the border of Lakewood and Rocky River. And the Rocky River Reservation would have been just down the way if you would have kept going where all that greenery was. Yeah, but hopefully this signal holds up. So far it's not nearly as strong as I was hoping for. We'll see if it improves, but we are planning to walk down Detroit Avenue. You see a 26 bus making its way toward that little pit stop there, and it should continue going to the Westgate Transit Center, and forget if it goes all the way out to Crocker Park these days. There's a hairy buffalo there. Detroit Avenue kind of curves inward here. I was looking on Google Maps earlier. I noticed there's like a purple painted house over there, but the architecture on these 3 or 4 buildings right here seem quite unique. Like, it didn't seem to fit with the rest of Lakewood. I would expect to see this in a, I don't know, just a smaller, cute little town as opposed to a somewhat bigger suburb like Lakewood. Yes, hello, Sadie Lamp Duo. Welcome. Yes, I know you love Lakewood. Can't remember if you said you lived in Lakewood in the past, but I feel like you've made references to it before. Here's Dewey's Pizza that we're passing right now. And then West End Tavern. Beef and fish tacos for just $2 on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Boneless wings, 50 cents each. Seems like a pretty good deal, right? Nice Tuesday special there. Insomnia cookies. Let's see here, what does a cookie cost in there? Classic cookies, looks like it's two something on the far left. Yeah, today's plan, assuming the connection holds up, is to walk all the way down Detroit Avenue until we get to downtown Detroit, downtown Lakewood, near Bell Avenue, and then I'll determine from there if I have enough time to maybe head toward Lakewood Park. Beautiful weather day today in spring. It's about 55 degrees. It felt warmer when I was walking to get to the start of the stream, although maybe that's because I was doing a fast-paced walk. And I do have a little bit of a heavier jacket on. Or I should check that. It's not a heavy jacket. It's a this is like the lightest jacket you could possibly ever get, but the reason I love this thing is because it provides like a ton of warmth, and it has great pockets, usually to hold my cell phone, although I'm streaming with my cell phone now, so that's much less important. Let's turn this back around. Got a Papa John's over here. Not the most fancy looking building, but What do we have across the street there? It says that that cute little house thing, I assume, is India Garden Restaurant and Bar. Seems to be quite a... Unless it's that place over there. You know what? That's the Indian Garden. So this is a different place. Molto Bene Italian Eatery. Interesting. I never knew there was a little Italian eatery there. I love Italian places, so I have to check out their menu later on. And then on the left here we have Cilantro Taqueria Mexican restaurant. And then back across the street, even though it's not a restaurant bar, it is billed as a bar, Stella and Shay Beauty Bar. You see some of the trees starting to bloom in pink there. I'm targeting maybe this Thursday University Circle, Wade Oval area by the Art Museum to see how the cherry blossoms look there. I've been seeing some pictures online. They've been starting to bloom and it looks like they're getting fuller. So even if I don't get the peak of the cherry blossoms, I still think it'd be really cool to do a live stream and show off how that area looks. That's nice, Sadie Lampfield. You said all your brothers were born at Lakewood Hospital. So yeah, you must have lots of memories of the area. Here's the Avenue Tap House. Kenilworth. Another bar, Kenilworth Tavern. So both of these storefront areas are belonging to that. And here we've got the Lakewood Fire Department, Fire Station number 2. The bell and the bench. Nice red brick building. We had Papa John's earlier, now we've got a Donato's pizza place right here. More of a bigger building. And then across the street there you have several, looks like small businesses. All the Joy seems to have some knickknacks. Eclectic Cleveland, another store, maybe they have some jewelry too. The Lock Loft, Pink Lotus Yoga, and then Breadsmith selling artisan breads. As we're approaching West Clifton now. We have two churches here, St. Peter's Episcopal Church on the right. I know recently they kind of renovated that section of the church. Congregational church. This portion of Detroit that I'm walking through now doesn't have as many businesses. But I've learned that the streaming connection in Lakewood is very spotty, especially on Detroit here. Keeps on fluctuating between weak transmission and strong. Not like downtown Cleveland, which is pretty strong everywhere. Let's see here, what do we have here? There's a hair salon there. There's a bar and grill here, another one. Followed by a framing studio. And then across the street you have the Beck Center for the Arts. There's actually some nice looking artwork over there. I'm going to try to cross at this intersection here. If I can press this button in time. Yep, just in time. So outside the Beck Center for the Arts, I've been here in this area before. I've never seen this, so this must be fairly new. They have some nice artwork on the bus stop itself, and then behind it, up against the wall, followed by some sculptures. Wish I could have lingered around more at that Beck Center and showed off the sculptures, but had another transmission signal message. I'm hoping as we get further or closer toward downtown Lakewood, maybe we'll have some better luck with the signal. And Dunkin' Social Security, and it'd be a church. Probably over a decade ago, and then replaced it with this building. Have a few small shops here. Looks like they have some Easter decorations. Easter plush is now half off. I just remembered something I wanted to try. Oh, we got another shop here. What is this? Cocoa Sentiment, maybe? It's like they have puzzles and books and various Easter decorations there. Remember something I wanted to try, a new feature with this stream. Let's see if I get this right. So there's my Twitter and Instagram accounts. I post pictures to there often. So feel free to rewind the video and check that out if you'd like to. Over on the left here is St. James Catholic Church. I think for a while, years ago, there were questions as to whether or not this church would remain open, but it's still open. As we're crossing back over to the north side of Detroit, because I wanted to show the GV Artwork store. See, no traffic's coming now. So the GV Artwork, or I don't know the official name. Let me make sure I look it up to get it right. GV Art Design. This is the store if you are a fan of Cleveland sports t-shirts. They have all the creative designs. Like the second anything unique or interesting happens, whether it be with the Guardians, formerly the Indians, or the Browns, or the Cavaliers, or even college teams, they come up with some very creative stuff. And this is their main store. It used to actually be over there where we just came from. That's where their store was, and then they relocated over here. GV Art and Design, that's the name of the store. There's an example of former Browns player Jarvis Landry with one of his shirts. Myles Garrett, you can see they have like the Jurassic Park theme for Jurassic Park. Looks like they got the new Guardians type of merchandise here. Yeah, that's where their store is located. I think they have another location too, but that's the main store here in Lakewood. I think we just passed a vape shop, and you've got Cleveland Vegan. So if any vegan lovers out there can go there. And there's also a bakery and cafe version of it. La Salsa. And before street, a restaurant called Game On. There's Daystar Boutique. They're closed right now. Looks like they closed just at 6 o'clock. The Proper Pig Smokehouse Barbecue. I feel like this used to be a computer shop. Maybe I'm thinking of a different spot. But it looks like they're closed at the moment too. Booths. There's quite a few bars and restaurants in Lakewood on Detroit Avenue. What's this? A Lakewood Antique Mall. So they've got some nice little antiques for sale. A YMCA across the street there. Followed by a Dairy Queen. Just a side note, I always like when they have unique looking bike racks. Here's a sort of a Day of the Dead themed bike rack outside of LC Modern Mexican El Carnicero. Sadie Lamp Duo, you said you performed for the Lakewood Library event last time in Lakewood. Nice. Here's a relatively new area in Lakewood. It's very popular. The Lakewood Truck Park. You can see they've even got a TV outside, lots of outdoor dining. And what they do is they actually rotate trucks throughout the week, food trucks. Like today, Corelia, Cleveland, and Smash Time are here. But Wednesday, there's a different food truck called Samurai Dynasty. Then Thursday, Manna Food Truck and Smoke This Barbecue will be here. Yeah, so you just go to the website, find out what food trucks are here, and then you go and have popular when the so to speak, igloo looking things. I wish I could stand there in one spot longer, but once I get my transmission signal weak connection, I gotta move on a little bit, otherwise I risk the stream cutting off and dying, but maybe we'll get another shot of it here. This is Edwards Park in front of us. A little baseball park meant for little kids. If you're like middle school, high school, or an adult, this is way too small of a field for you, unless you have kids that you're playing with. Across the street over there is a Dairy Queen Orange Julius combo. This right here is an auto zone. Now I don't know the full history of the building, but see how that's kind of like the shape of that where AutoZone is at? That used to be a Hollywood Video sign. So that kind of looks like a movie theater type of setup. So that makes sense that Hollywood Video used to have that facade. I don't know if maybe it was something else before that that had more relevance, but as far as I went back on Google Maps, that's what it used to be. They have a Cap and Corks craft beer and fine wines place there. Up ahead, Cozumel Mexican restaurant. I think last year there was a big storm, and after the storm ended, I got off and was walking through here, and there was a downed power line, I believe right here. I did a short video that I uploaded on my channel of that downed power line, because I remember that was the first time I had ever seen a live wire like sparking in front of me. I was like, whoa. There's an Uptown Mart store over there, followed by a McDonald. Now, out of all the spots on this stream, this is the area where I'm hoping my connection doesn't quit on me. Before we get there, here's James Games and More. Looks like they're open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. Jolanda's Salon, Health Markets, and a sign place. Yeah, let me find a spot over here that hopefully has a good connection. And the connection's still kind of weak. Slightly better here. Well, hopefully we can tell. So take a look at that. Trying to. All right. Trying to find a spot where the connection's not dying here. Not sure if I'm going to get. Hello, DWG Adventures. So oddly enough, I had to walk all the way here to this dead space looking area before I got a decent connection signal again. I wanted to stop back there by the McDonald's. Now I'm like 2 blocks away from it, but maybe I can still provide the context here. So I remember just a minute or two ago where I was by that McDonald's down there. So that McDonald's was the former site I don't know if you can see that on there. Former site of the Detroit Theater, which, let me see how I can close this now. I'm not sure if they actually showed up on the screen. Let me try it again here. Can you see that now? The Detroit Theater? Yeah, now I think I placed it on the screen. So that is where the McDonald's used to be. And a little bit of history about the Detroit Theater. It was opened in 1924. It originally had 1 screen, but then they 1989. But then it permanently closed. Permanently closed back on January 30th, 2011, and then it was demolished in 2012, and that's where the McDonald's is now. I know back when that was happening, a lot of people were upset with the old Detroit Theater being torn down and replaced with the McDonald's, no less, but it's hard to believe it's already been a decade since it was demolished. Across from the McDonald's and Old Detroit Theater, which again I unfortunately didn't get to stop and show it really because of the connection at the time, but across from there was the Trinity Lutheran Church. So even though that church itself is still standing, it closed back in 2018 and the congregation moved to West Clifton Boulevard, that Lakewood Congregational building from the start of the stream, near the start of the stream. And I know within the past year or so, Scalish Construction Company took over or won the bid for it. So they're planning on moving their headquarters into there. I believe there's also plans to build 10 new residential units on that area and also include some public areas, as well as repurposing the two. There's like two retail businesses that used to be there, trying to repurpose that into more small business opportunities. We have another church here, Lakewood United Methodist Church on Summit Avenue. Across the street there you have several places: Cleveland Performance Chiropractor, Amendola Engineering Incorporated, the Quilting Bee, and then Max Tan. Bar Italia across the street there. Now, usually during warmer weather, they have like an outdoor dining setup, so I'm surprised there's nothing going on there right now. This is a salon and spa to my left. Now we're starting to get into the more concentrated part of Detroit Avenue, where you're going to see businesses left and right. Nature's Oasis, Fetch and Company, Mary Arts Pub and Grill, Roman Fountain Pizza Subs. Roman Fountain always decorates nicely for the holidays. I wonder if they have anything up for Easter time. Here's Beat Cycles, one of the bicycle shops in Lakewood. I know there's also a bicycle shop up on Madison Avenue. DWG laughs and says, "I forgot people still went tanning up there." Mish, I think it says Mishi. I'm having a hard time reading the cursive. Mishi Lifestyle. Looks like they sell some furniture and house decorations. Can't forget the vacuum store over there, right? I don't see any. Oh, so in Roman Fountain, I looked. They do have a cross up with a little decoration on it, but nothing about nothing beyond that, I think, for decorations. There's a CVS pharmacy over there, followed by a Taco Bell on the left side here. And I don't know if you can see that sign over there, but it says Downtown Lakewood. So I assume you're trying to bill it like Arthur Avenue is kind of the start of downtown Lakewood, which is, that makes sense. It's kind of what I associate with downtown Lakewood, this little maybe 5 or 6 block radius. Kaufman Park is just over to the left side there. I know there's a baseball diamond on there, as well as a parking lot for these stores over here. There's the Lakewood Public Library. DWG, you said your app says it's 83 degrees there, but people are dressed like it's cold. Are you talking about Lakewood? No, it's not. Now, sometimes working up the body heat, it did feel a little warm today, but it's only 55 degrees right now. Yep, there's the Lakewood Public Library. Oh, and also, so this building here, this also used to be a church, but now you see it says Roundstone on it. So remember the name Roundstone, because if the stream stays alive, there's a purpose to me mentioning Roundstone. There's Discount Drug Mart, another driveway also to get back to Kaufman Park. When I was a kid, my parents used to always drive us over there. Instead of watching the Lakewood fireworks actually at Lakewood Park, you could get another view from a far distance at Kaufman Park, and it was less crowded, so that's where for many years I was used to watching the fireworks growing up. Oh, we have a little Amazon pickup station outdoors. I've seen them inside of stores before. I didn't know they had one that would be outside, so that's, you could do that any hour of the day. Like, I know there's a Save-A-Lot near me, and they have one of those Amazon stations, but it's inside the store. So you obviously could only use it during the hours that Save-A-Lot are open. Here's a Humble Wine Bar, Voodoo Tuna Sushi Bar and Lounge, Verizon store. Used to be a pizza and chicken place here. I forgot what it was called, but looks like that's gone. It's for lease now. Gigi's Playhouse. That's a Down Syndrome Achievement Center. One of these places used to be a video game store of some kind. I can't remember which spot. There's a Phoenix Salon and Suites over there. And then across the street, you got H&R Block. I believe that's the former location of Domino's Pizza. Either that one or that one over there. Then there's a Subway, which is still there, and Dollar General. Although Dollar General, I believe you have to go in the side or back entrance in order to get in there. Finally, we've got a strong internet connection showing for the upload speed, at least. The download speed doesn't quite matter for streaming. It's always the upload speed. When I was on the bus on the way here, though, I was like, as the bus was moving, I kept on trying it over and over, refreshing the speed connection to test it. And I was like, all right, this is good. It seemed like it was strong the whole way. But I guess it lied to me. Let's see if we can make this. There's a Huntington Bank over on the right, followed by a Starbucks. Where the Starbucks is located, that used to be a Burger King, I think, but it was fairly recently converted into a Starbucks. You see here you have a bike rack kind of off to the side in the street. Believe it or not, I've used this bike rack quite a handful of times. If I'm riding my bike in Lakewood, the store called the Exchange, I used to call it the Record Exchange, is just, well, like 2 or 3 storefronts away. So anytime I would make a pit stop at the Exchange just to check out their latest DVDs or video games or whatever, I would always lock up my bike here. And it seemed pretty unique because I don't remember any other spots in Lakewood that had, instead of a parking space for cars, they had a sectioned off area for bicycles. Here's a little place for smoothies and salads. Another vegetarian, vegan option. Hair and body parlor. They have Lion and Blue clothing, gifts, and jewelry. Oh, I missed I missed a little Easter tree. You see through? See, they have the little plastic Easter eggs attached to the golden tree there. Looks to be a Day of the Dead character. Easter eggs inside the Crocs. A bunny with the little carrots. I always love when storefronts do things for the holidays. Colorful little bunnies and eggs. And then this is the Exchange, the place I was just touting. I have to admit, I haven't bought anything here for a long time. I still go in there to reminisce. But these days I can pretty much find cheaper DVDs or video games on eBay if I want to get them used. But it's still fun to peruse the store and check it out. Even if it's just for some nostalgia. So here's one of my talking point areas. Dave's Hot Chicken. So this is kind of funny timing. This is where 16-bit arcade used to be. And 16-bit arcade, just about 2 weeks ago, finally opened their new location on West 25th Street in Cleveland. But this Dave's Hot Chicken, let me look at my notes here. It opened in January 2022. They have a very limited menu, just chicken tenders, fries, sliders, kale slaw, and mac and cheese. And at the time, it was the 40th franchise that was opened. And they're hoping to expand maybe to more areas in Northeast Ohio. So that's what I read online. You can see they've got the nice little decoration signage. Indoors, they have the same thing. And the reviews seem to be pretty good. You can Google about the backstory of how they got started. I think in California, two guys having an idea and doing it on a small budget. And eventually it grew and grew and grew. There's the Lakewood City Center. It's funny, I've never actually looked to see what that plaza was called, but based on the clock up there, it says Lakewood City Center. You have a Chipotle there. My main purpose for going to this plaza has been to Mark's. Who doesn't love Mark's, right? But yeah, I still go there fairly often if I am in the area and need to grab something at Mark's. There's also another tanning place. There's Marco's Pizza. There's still a GameStop there. A few other food places. There's a Pet Supplies Plus. And I believe there's a UPS store and Charlie's all the way down there. Hello. As you see, we're at Cook Avenue off of Detroit now. DWG says, I think the one where I grew up closed, meaning the Mark's store. Yeah, if it was a Mark's in a different suburb, I may not, or farther out suburb, I may not know it. I'm familiar with most of the Mark's either in Cleveland or the nearby suburbs of it. Last time I did a stream in Lakewood was at just before Christmas. I was showing off the holiday tree that was decorated there and some of the decorations more eastward. North Canton, yeah, that's one of the areas I can't comment on, whether there's still one in North Canton. I always like the American flag painted on that building there. The last live stream I did in downtown Cleveland, I mentioned a Dave's Cosmic Subs in downtown. Here's their Lakewood location. they're getting a ton of free publicity from me. I think I also featured them on one of my Crocker Park videos last Christmas time. So that's 3 days Cosmic Subs I've covered on my videos. Maybe they'll give me a sponsorship, right? Just kidding. There used to be, I believe, a Burgers to Beer location. It might have been there. Now that Burgers to Beer is gone, it's Arapaz Latino and Bar. Sadie Lamp Duo, you said, where's Joe Pezzi's Pizza? Are you talking about in Lakewood? I'm not familiar with that location. Unfortunately, I can't use my Google Maps while I'm streaming. There's a Melt Bar and Grill. Looks like it's pretty crowded in there. They still have the Halloween and Easter and Christmas stuff up. Oh look, the Indians and Reds are tied 4-4. Look at the Halloween decorations on this side too. I guess they leave everything up all year round. Sorry, I said Indians and Reds. I don't know if I'll ever get used to that, but Guardians and Reds, 4-4. The Cleveland Cavaliers playing a huge game against the Brooklyn Nets. And that should be starting pretty soon. There's a Panera Bread across the street. Speaking of Brooklyn, I don't know if you guys saw a horrifically scary story in the borough of Brooklyn, New York this morning, where some, I don't know what the right phrase I should use is, but we'll just call them some person. I think he had a gas mask on, and then he unleashed smoke either on the train in Brooklyn, New York, or outside of the train, I'm not sure which, and then he just started opening fire with his weapon. I know they said like 20 people were injured. Fortunately, it looks like no one died, but the person is still at large, so there's a big time manhunt out for that person. Yes, I think that was pretty close to where that incident happened, to either the Brooklyn Nets training facility, or, you know, if it's happening in Brooklyn, New York, that's in the vicinity of the Cavaliers Nets game. And you think of big gatherings, that's the next biggest gathering happening there today. So I'm sure security is probably extra beefed up. Here's Aladdin's Restaurant. I don't ever remember this mural here. It probably has been here, but I'm often walking from the other direction, so maybe I just haven't seen it before. That looks pretty nice. You know, while I still have a fairly decent connection over here, now I'll stand here and do my talking point. So over there is the old Lakewood Hospital. You can see now it's just a big hole in the ground. I'll take out my notes again here. So that's again the former Lakewood Hospital site. But remember earlier, about, I don't know, 5 blocks earlier, I said pay attention to that Roundstone place. It was like located inside of a former church. So Roundstone is actually an insurance company in Lakewood. They have 150 employees now. But they put together either a proposal, or they may, from the sounds of it, it sounds like they may win the proposal to help lead the effort in getting a $90 million development going at the former Lakewood Hospital site, where that is over there. So let me again do my picture thing here. So imagine where I'm standing right now, and then we'll, let me make that a little bit bigger. How can I think I can resize this a little bit better. Yeah. So the corner I'm standing right now, see how it says Roundstone? There you go. See how it says Roundstone? That is supposed to be what they're proposing. Who knows how long, it'll take to actually construct and stuff, but they want to build a Roundstone headquarters there, and then I think on the lower level would be opportunities for some new retail stores, and then back behind it, all the way on the right side where you see some of those trees, there would be a pretty sizable parking lot, and then even beyond that, if you're heading more south toward Franklin Avenue, they plan on building a lot of new apartment, condo, or housing units, maybe like 200 housing units in total. And then let me get another perspective here. This is a new feature I'm trying again with these on-screen sketches, so hopefully it's doing well. I know the other day I tried paper sketches, but now this is a view. Imagine we were over there, like standing over there and facing this way. So you've got the Roundstone headquarters again on the right, but then you have that public area where they hope that in the future they could maybe host events or just gatherings for Lakewood in general, not specifically related to Roundstone. Just a nice little public gathering spot. And again, you could have possibly some retail shops there, or who knows, maybe a good scene for some new bars and restaurants to go, because that would look to be like a great outdoor dining area too. So that is the latest proposal for the former site of the Lakewood Hospital. Again, it's still a big hole in the ground, so I'm not expecting it to suddenly pop up in the next few months, but it's always good to see some progress, better than no progress. So now I'm going to try to head toward Lakewood Park. It's possible our stream may die off here because I had weak connection when I first started the stream toward the west end of Lakewood when I was on the border of Lakewood and Rocky River. So now that I'm walking towards side streets and walking toward the lake, decent chance that the video will cut out. So if that does happen, alright, I'm not signing off right now, but if that does happen, thanks to those who have tuned in so far. If I get cut off on the walk, I may still walk down there and shoot a pre-recorded video with my 4K camera. But we'll see how far we can go. DWG says, which app are you using to stream? I use something called the Prism. I know it starts with Prism, but there's like 2 or 3 words in it. It's probably in the description of this video. Prism Live Studio, I believe it's called. That's what all the big streamers seem to use. You started using Prism as well? Yep, it just seems to be the best and most convenient one. And I like the new features that I've been playing with today, like the on-screen pictures and adding other elements. I know some people use those on-screen images for things like when they're taking a restroom break, they'll put a "Be Right Back" sign on and mute the audio or play music. Yes, it does allow for 1080p. Yeah, I think my streams technically are supposed to be in 1080p, but it varies depending on the connection of the area you're streaming from. As we're about to cross the railroad tracks here. Well, there's quite a few people out walking right now. It's always nice to see, right? I wouldn't be surprised if a week or two from now you see all these bare trees covered in green, right? I mean, it's gotta be. We're getting close to May pretty soon. I know they say April showers bring May flowers, but I want to see green already, besides the grass. So doesn't it figure? I thought the connection was going to get weaker as I was heading down these side streets, and right now at this point, it's the strongest by far that it's been during the entire stream. 4,000 kilobytes per second. As we're approaching the 1 hour mark. So again, thank you for those who tuned in or tune in at a later point. This week is Mac and Cheese Week in Cleveland. I had contemplated earlier today going down to someplace near Prospect and East 9th Street and doing a video on one of the mac and cheese offerings they were doing as part of Mac and Cheese Week, but didn't end up doing it. So I'll see if I try that later this week, or if I just decide to punt on doing that idea. I may have picked the correct street for Lakewood Park, because I saw, I think, the 83 bus turning up ahead on what I believe is Clifton. I know the 83 bus goes to Lakewood Park. One other video I was contemplating is there's this place I read about in the city of Euclid, not Euclid Avenue, but the city of Euclid, Ohio, where it has a homeowner who decorates for Easter their front yard for the past now 61 years, and they call it Jelly Beanville. So I'd love to do a short video on that, not necessarily a live stream, because it would probably only be like a 5-minute video showing off the decorations. But the problem is, again, I don't drive, so if I want to take a Uber and Lyft out there, I looked at the cost, it's like $30 each way, so I'm like, if I want to do $60 just to film this short video. I could take an RTA bus, which I have a pass for that, but then the problem with that is it's like an hour and a half on the bus, whereas opposed to being a 15-minute bus ride. Yeah, not many places decorate for Easter up here. You'll find some houses here and there that have a couple of decorations, but when I saw this guy's Jelly Beanville place online from previous years, I was like, all right, that one looks cool. It reminded you of how a lot of houses really go crazy for Halloween and Christmas. That's what this guy was doing for Easter. So I thought that'd be pretty cool to feature. If I do that, it'll probably be Thursday. But again, it wouldn't be a live stream. It would be a pre-recorded video that I would then upload once I got home. Well, here is Clifton. They have all these nice bus stops for the Cleveland State Line, otherwise known as the 55 bus. So if anyone hasn't taken that bus before, it's very convenient. Zips down Clifton, goes all the way to downtown Cleveland and Cleveland State University, or if you're taking it the other direction, you know, goes from downtown into Lakewood, and that's actually what I took to get to the starting point of this stream. But it also ventures out to Crocker Park, or there's another version that goes out to Bay Village, because they have several different kinds. They have like the 55A, B, and C. Actually, I don't know if they have the 55A anymore. They may just call it the 55 now, but they definitely have the B and C. I just moved my hand for the first time in over an hour, and I had lobster claw. I gotta get some feeling back in my hand. It's not because it's cold, I just had a death grip on it. Now I switched to my left hand. DWG says, do people ride transit a lot up there? Let me think about that. I know I ride it all the time, so. But I want to say, overall, not a lot of people use it. You know, the few that do, they're dedicated in using it. But I would say it's far from a primary mode of transportation. As we are approaching Lake. Like see, one of these days, now I'm going to have to do a live stream just on the city streets in Lakewood, because the connection is like super strong over here. As we're getting ready to cross the lake to go over to Lakewood Park. Last time I was at Lakewood Park was for the fireworks. About, what year was that? 2019, I guess. The year before the pandemic, I think. So yeah, about 2.5 years or more since I've been over, actually in the park. Again, we'll see how the connection holds up. Still strong at the entrance here, but anytime you get closer to water, connection tends to fade. Looks like a lot of activity though. People playing, or kids playing soccer. So DWG, you're saying the transit down there in Atlanta? I think you're in Atlanta. Seems scary now. Yeah, I mean, if you can't feel safe on the transit, not a good thing. Especially when you hear a crazy headline about New York trying to ride the transit and all of a sudden some guy is opening fire on people. Unfortunately, I've always like 99.9% of the time felt safe on Cleveland transportation. That is a true statement about 99.9 because I've ridden it so often where, you know, maybe that one time out of 1,000 you kind of get startled by someone on the bus. I see a jungle gym over there with some nets up in the air. Feel like I played on that 25 years ago. I know one year I got the flu shot. Again, this is probably 13 years ago or so. Got the flu shot in that little building right there. You're saying no one walks in streams in Atlanta. Yeah, you definitely want to feel safe. You don't want to be streaming and having to look over your shoulder every second. Although on the same note, there isn't really anyone else who does streams in Cleveland. It's not yet caught on fully in a lot of the major cities, unless you're in New York. New York, I feel like, really hit big there. And now in certain cities like Las Vegas, maybe some parts of California, you're starting to see it catch on. Me selfishly, no, I don't want to say selfishly, in a fun way, I'm hoping it catches on in Cleveland and the other areas that I do it in. I think it'd be pretty cool to grow an audience from people who either used to live here or even if they live here now. Just to get to show off the latest things going on, new and old things. We're getting closer to the water and the connection is still showing full strength. Not sure which way to go, so I'll just walk what looks to be a main path over here. Yesterday it rained a lot, so that's why you still see heavy puddles. That's not from today, that's from yesterday. The ground is just too saturated and didn't get quite warm enough to dry that up. You know what I'm gonna hate is that people who weren't watching the stream the whole time, they just tune in, they're gonna see the first few minutes and it's probably buffering to death. And they're gonna be like, oh, I'm not looking at the rest of the stream. And yet here the connection is so perfect. I didn't realize there was a great shot of downtown Cleveland from Lakewood Park as well. I'm gonna have to get closer to there too and show that off. Yep, the signal. I don't know if you've used this in Prism since you say you use it, but there is a way to turn on the Wi-Fi and network and battery meter that shows on your Prism screen while you're streaming. So I use that all the time now to monitor the connection strength to know whether I need to quickly walk past a certain area with a weaker connection or not. I don't know if there's a closer view of downtown Cleveland, but for now I'll walk over here. Yeah, they must have a cell tower over here for it to be this strong. That's good to know for future reference. That water looks so clean too. You can see there's a gazebo over there. Look at those people on the swings. Are all the swings taken right now? I think there's one available down there. I don't know if I'll get there in time. I think there used to be a spot where you could walk down and go closer to the water. Maybe down that ramp over there. I don't know if it's open presently or not. But I guess it is if they're walking down that direction. But before I go down there, let's see if I can grab on to one of these swings for a second. I gotta take my backpack off, get the full effect of the swing here. Yeah, a little choppy there. That's why I got off the swing. I saw that transmission signal dropping, so I said, "Oh." I said, "Let me get away from the swings for a second here." Yeah, it's always funny somehow, or sometimes when you see the connection just drop. Looks like that jogger took a detour. Because I really wasn't going out of the way, I was just sitting on a swing. And all of a sudden, connection was weaker there. It's like, how can that little swing be a dead spot? It's probably just a external factor like the what do you call it? Who knows, maybe the wind was blowing or just some other factor. cut out the connection. I bet if I went back there right now, it would probably would be fine.
Take care of it.
Fears with signal strength or tips to improve it. Getting weaker again as we're getting down here.
I talked to Emil on the phone.
Sadie Lamp Duo says you played for the West 25th and Lorraine Avenue Dave's Cosmic Subs. So when you say you played for them, they had in that little small store like an area for you to set up and play music? That's pretty cool. Alright, so here's the best shot for downtown Cleveland from Lakewood. So what I'm going to do here is, since the sun is nice right now, I'm going to go ahead and shoot a pre-recorded video in high quality so that I can capture the beautiful scenery here. And there's probably not a ton more to show off of Lakewood Park, so that'll be the conclusion of this live stream. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. If you liked the video, feel free to hit the like button. I think the live viewers are probably already subscribed, so I don't have to tell you guys that again, but always feel free to leave comments down below, and thanks again. We will see you next time.